Here's another game from Team 45 League, and we're gonna look at every game in round 6. Let's see what happens here. The biggest culprit that is you guys could all use improvement on. Most of you could use improvement on is the use of your time. Okay, you guys are moving too quick. You have an average of nearly 2 minutes a move. If you took 75 minutes for your first 40 moves, you'd use up your time and still have the increment to live off of. You'll play better chess if you take your time and think. Okay, so what's white going to do here? C3 is the sharpest variation. Okay, this just blunders a pawn. Now, I don't understand this move. Let's see. White took, his clock went up 20, he took 19 seconds and throws a pawn away. Black is controlling this 3 times. And now, the Evans gambit offers a pawn, but it's a little different. It's a whole other animal. So black can just simply play pawn takes or bishop takes. If he takes with the knight, he might lose this pawn. Let's see what happens. Okay, so white may have to be playing a gambit here. Pawn to c3. Okay, now black develops a little cautiously. If you're concerned about getting the knight kicked with e5, just stop and play d6 first, and that will thwart that. Now the knight's not going to its best square, and this is rather premature. Black has a number of ways to defend against white's threat. Probably the simplest would be to castle here. This would be the preferred defense. Now white can come and threaten mate, but well, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe this isn't so good. Castles, queen h5. How do we stop the mate? We have to play here, and maybe this becomes very dangerous. Let's see. Pawn up. This is check here. We'll save the queen later. Okay. So he probably has to play d5 here. And he does. Now, I'm thinking of putting the knight here. Okay, now this leads to danger. This is somewhat similar to the fried liver attack. The question is, can white get away with this, or does white have better? White has a lot of options here. Let's back it up and think for a moment. Let me see. I just want to see if things are moving on. The broadcast is working. I'm broadcasting this live and uploading to YouTube later. Okay. The knight's on pre. The 2 knights defense. This is very similar to the 2 knights defense. We can play this move, and attacks the bishop, and maybe
check.
White will do this. Takes. Now we can take with the pawn, and maybe the bishop will come back to e2. Maybe it'll go to a4. I have a feeling black is okay in this position, and he's returned the pawn, but black has a lot of scope for his pieces. Okay, so familiarity with mainline openings will set a pattern that black could recognize and transpose into something similar. So let's see. But taking here, it starts running into risks. Okay, we have to evaluate a lot of stuff. There's a check. Okay, there may be a move, queen h5, queen f3. All these have to be considered. See, queen f3, for instance, attacks the knight and threatens a mate. Queen h5 also threatens a checkmate. It stops castling because we get this checkmate. And it stops, let's see, how does black defend this? He's got to be very, very careful here. I guess the queen could come over here, but this would hang this knight, okay? We might have to play queen here. And this is all because black took that pawn on d5 without considering some of the other options. So, you know, let's see what he did. Yeah, I was afraid of this. This is like the fried liver, but there's some differences. But it might not be sound. And now we're going to play queen check.
Check.
Now, in the fried liver, black is bringing his king up here to protect his knight. But we're not in the fried liver. There's new possibilities available for white, one of which would be to check the king. You know, this is very, very tricky. And, you know, let's see, check.
Check.
Now, if you want to save the knight, you have to go here. It doesn't save the knight. It doesn't. You're not saving the knight here. Let's see, you could do this. Now, both knights are pinned. So, you know, white may even have this sacrifice. Check. And look where the king is. How long is that king gonna last on that square? You know, white hasn't developed his queen side yet, but I haven't solved this position yet, and you know, there's no way black could have solved this position when he chose to take. Let's see, what time did he take on this move? Okay. His clock went up 29 seconds. Black took 16 seconds to make this move. Black could have thought for 20 minutes and still had ample time to finish the game. Okay, so now let's see, how long did white? Well, white moved this pretty quick too. See, 6 seconds plus 24, 30. He spent 15 seconds on this move. It looks pretty good. Because after this check, you know, you can't bring the king out. That's what he did.
Check.
Wait, is this what happened? Okay, well, yeah, I missed this move. Okay, so this guy is under a whole bunch of pressure, and you know, black's time continues to climb, and he reinforces.
Check.
And suddenly, white has his piece back. And the attack is still alive. Looks like white can win another piece. Takes, queen takes, check. The bishop comes in and blocks, and white just adds that rook to the equation.
Check.
They're going to go that way. Well, that probably works too.
Check.
Yeah, I mean, this is highly decisive. You know, the king has two legal moves. This one here is, well, they're both allowing mate.
Checkmate. Checkmate.
And that's how the game ended. So, and both players have more time left on their clock than when they started. So, you know, did white calculate everything out when he did this? That's a good question. Good job, white. But, you know, this shouldn't have happened for black. Let's kind of review this again. Free pawn. So here, like I say, this would be a good choice. You know, and by the way, if you're afraid of that, there's a lot of themes where black can play here, and even this is stuff that happens in the Max Lang. You know, black is actually just fine here. Black has a very high winning percentage in the Max Lang.
Check.
You know, we just block on this square, and you know, these pawns are a nuisance for white. You know, white's underdeveloped on the queen side. So, you know, knowing a little opening theory would help. I have some introductions to the Italian game and the two knights defense on my playlist, how to play the openings. I've made those recently. They cover all the main ideas and encourage you to explore, you know, chess literature and learn more. So anyway, that was a quick game. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to go on to another game here in a moment.